So this reminds me of a story. This reminds me of a story that my Baba used to tell. And this is a true story. It actually happened to him, where he was walking along the road. He was a sadhu. He would wander from place to place. And one day, it was a hot day, and he saw a man by the side of the road. And the man was weeping. And my Baba said, "What's the matter? Can I help you?" And the man said, "Yes, I was very hungry. So I sat down here under the tree, and in my mind, I cooked myself a meal. I got all the best ingredients. I cooked it and put it all together. But at the end of the meal, I put in too many chilies, and it's too hot, and that's why I'm weeping." That this is the way of the world. We create our own reality. You know, we create our own ecstasy. We create our own sadness. The mind is the tool that creates heaven. It creates hell. It's our best friend or our worst enemy. The scriptures tell us that the world is as we see it. Yadrishti sashrishti, that it's we who create our own reality. So understanding this, create a world of joy. Live in happiness. Choose thoughts that are uplifting. And be vigilant not to engage and to indulge in thoughts that drag us down. Think, I am that. Shivoham. I am of the nature of supreme bliss. I am pure consciousness. Disregard the thoughts, I'm a sinner, I'm not good enough. Those are old patterns, old ways of thinking that no longer serve us. Remember, Shivoham, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that. Live in bliss. This is my blessing to you. Live in joy and ecstasy. It's your birthright. It's your nature. We don't have to attain anything from outside of our being. It's already within us. And once we discover that, we can live a life in great joy, great peace, and great love. So Swami Muktananda gave newcomers the mantra Om Namah Shivaya. So this was the introductory mantra. People would come up and ask for a mantra, and he had these little mantra cards that said Om Namah Shivaya and gave the instructions for repeating the mantra. So you take the mantra and you repeat it at your regular rate of speaking. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. You can blend it with the breath. The important part of repeating the mantra is the awareness that the individual self, the mantra, and the Supreme Deity are all one. So it's this consciousness of uniting, of joining the individual being with the Supreme Consciousness that's the essence of the practice of mantra. So Muktananda gave the Om Namah Shivaya mantra as his introductory mantra. It was often a means of carrying the Shakti, of bestowing Shaktipat. Later he gave additional mantras for people to practice. Often at intensives he would initiate people into Hamsa, which means I am that, or Soham. I also received the mantra Guru Om. And when I took sannyas, I received the initiation into Aham Brahmasmi, which is a meditation, not so much as using a particular mantra, but entering into a particular consciousness, the awareness that I am Brahman. So let's talk a little bit about ego. Ego comes from the Latin word, which means I am. And the problem in yoga is misidentifying who we are. That part of the divine plan is that we forget our essential nature and sport in the world for a while as an individual. And so we think of ourselves as the physical body. We think ourselves as the mind, or we identify with our possessions or what we do. In reality, these things will all pass away. And it's misidentifying with the things that we're not that's the source of pain. So it's not that we have to get rid of the ego. The ego has its function. It's the ego that tells us when we're in danger and we should run. It tells us when we're hungry. It looks out for number one. So it has its place. And it's a very good servant, but it's not a very good master. So meditation teaches us that we're something much more than our misidentification, much more than our small ego. We're more than a body. We're more than the mind. We're more than our thoughts, more than our bank account, more than our careers. We are actually universal consciousness. This is who we really are. And once we come to know that self, we can live in a state of bliss, of joy, of peace. So long as we identify with things outside of ourselves, we'll suffer. In fact, this is a great motivation for most people. We feel this sense of inadequacy, feel like something is lacking, something is missing, and we begin to look for it outside. So we live a life that's filled with desire. We go from desire to desire. We satisfy this desire, then another desire comes up. These desires stem from the ego, the misidentification of who we are. Once we become discontent with the suffering that's generated from living from ego, we look for another way. We hear the teachings that the joy and the love that we're looking for is inside ourselves. So begin to look for the truth within our own being and let go of our limited belief that we call the ego. Summers were very hot in Ganeshpuri, and I was living in something called the Sadhu dorms. The Sadhu dorms where there were 30 young men who were thinking about taking sannyas. So we lived in a very austere lifestyle, 30 men in one room with just a fan on. So the summers were extremely hot. The winters, the monsoon seasons were very humid, very wet. It was a time of tapasya, that we learned to go beyond the concerns of the physical body. My body physically suffered a great deal when, particularly in the summers in India, we would be sitting in the meditation caves, and sometimes of the year there'd be lots of mosquitoes, lots of humidity, lots of heat. So we learned to go to a place that was beyond physical suffering. So when I would repeat the mantra, I would go into a place of deep awareness. It's sometimes said that mananatraiti iti mantraha, that it's the mantra that protects the one who repeats it. So in times of great physical discomfort in the heats of Ganeshpuri, I would sit and meditate Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, and go to a place that was beyond physical pain. Later, when we were in the States and I was having dental work done, I would practice repeating the mantra to transcend pain, not taking Novocaine or anything to dull the pain, but just simply allowing the dentist to do the work that needed to be done while I repeated the mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. This was one of my core practices, was transcending the physical body and identifying with pure consciousness. Well, Muktananda was what we call a Jagat Guru. He did 3 tours of the world, going to places like all over India, Australia, all over the United States, places in Europe. And so he had many, many disciples, many, many devotees, certainly over 100,000. So because of our upbringing, we're taught that certain things are not polite to say. We don't always express fully and completely. So if you have a block there, speak your truth without fear, but speak it kindly. So because we've experienced blockages here, it builds up, and there's a danger that we express it in an angry way or an attacking way, where our reaction to what's happening is out of proportion to what's actually happening. So I would examine this particular chakra, to meditate there, to feel the blockage there, and to see if we can come to some happy medium of expressing what it is that we have to say, but expressing it in a kind and loving manner. With looking at this is to do a chakra meditation on this particular chakra and really look at the feelings there. So one of the things that you can do is remember a moment where this person upset you. You said something and they said no, and look at it, remember that experience and allow the feelings that come up to come. So don't repress them, don't try to be a good boy and ignore them, but allow the feelings to come up. And then look at the actual expression of that and stay with the energy and watch where it goes. It may tell us that we need to speak our truth. It may tell us that we need to meditate. So we focus on the energy and then we ask for guidance from within and we act according to the guidance that we receive.